Good afternoon, Coach. We'll get started with Bo and then John.
Hey, Coach, I'm sure you saw the Cowboys onside kick recovery. What did you make of that, and will you use that as a teaching point moving forward?
Yeah, I have seen it, but I only saw it once. It was on a TV copy, and it was just real brief. But yeah, we'll definitely use it. I mean, I know what happened. We'll definitely use the clip. We actually use like every clip from around the league every week to teach off of. It's one of the. I mean, it's just a great way to teach our guys. We're learning from everyone's situations, not just ours. So we'll definitely look at it. I'm glad it was not us.
Thanks.
Go ahead, John, and then Paul.
Hey, Dave, to kind of follow up on that, I think John called it a watermelon kick or something of that nature. Have you thought, because of the new rules and how difficult it's become to get onside kicks, if you started to try to think of innovative ways of trying to make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, no, I think everybody's been exploring for that. We've actually hit that same kick, and we've practiced that stuff in the past. These guys, Cincinnati, actually hit that a year ago, or I think 2 years ago or something. They hit a similar kick to that. It did not go 10 and stayed not going 10. But yeah, I think everybody's searching for ways, to find a way to recover those kicks. It's obviously gotten challenging when you don't have the running start. It makes it more difficult. And then having to have the 5x5 alignments, and then not only the 5x5 alignments, but then you also have to have them pretty much spaced out. So it's gotten challenging. Everyone's trying to find a way to get it done. Atlanta, truth be told, has done a great job of recovering them with their onside team.
Go ahead, Paul, and then Ruben.
Hey, Dave. Wanted to ask you about the Bengals return teams. Both of their returners have put up pretty good numbers in the first two games. What kind of challenge do they present?
Yeah, no, we got our hands full with these guys. We just finished meeting, and we just actually talked about them. They got two really good returners, 40 Wilson and Erickson 12. These guys are really good. I mean, these guys are good across the board, though. They got really good core players. They got solid linebackers. They got a couple of young linebackers doing a nice job for them. 55, the rookie, and 59, the rookie, are both playing well, I think. We like those guys coming out in the draft, too. 50 is a solid linebacker for them. 82, the tight end, really good player on special teams. I mean, they got a lot of talent over there on that side of the ball. They got three really good specialists. I think those guys, the kicker's been in the league 8 years. The snapper and the punter, 11. So we got a big challenge ahead of us. I know our guys are excited about it, but we definitely got our work cut out for us, and we got a lot of work to do to get ready for those guys.
Ruben, then Zach.
Hey, Dave. We're used to seeing Cam Johnston just booming punts, but this year I think he's averaging 56, and his net is just under 50. Has he done anything to strengthen his leg? Is it placement? Can he sustain that kind of those kind of numbers as the weather turns?
Yeah, no, he's, I guess he had 2 punts yesterday. I'd say one of them was really good and one of them was not as good. But he's done a great job. I mean, I've always said Cam's going to be a really good football player. I think all those young guys just need a little bit of time to develop. That was kind of our plan going in with him. We knew he wasn't where he needed to be right away. Truth be told, we kind of redshirted him. I mean, we brought him into training camp his first year, and then we sent him back home with kind of a laundry list of things he had to improve on and get ready for the next year. He came back, and he had done all those things. I think I've also always told you guys that he's a really hard worker, and he takes a lot of pride in his craft. So I would say every year he comes back significantly better than the year before. He was also a guy in college. They weren't asking him to hit traditional punts nearly as much. He kind of hit that rugby or Aussie punt, the end-over-end punt, most of the time when he was in college. So he's had a lot of development that he's kind of had to do, and I would say he's just starting to get better and better, and I think really he's going to continue to do that. So, yeah, I'm excited for him. I would say really all the credit should be given to him. I mean, he's done a tremendous job of working really hard, and he takes a lot of pride in it. But, yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, he should be able to sustain it, but every week's a new week here, and we got to reset and get ready for this one.
Zach and then Martin.
Hey, Dave, on the turnover on Sunday, what did you see on film? And is that something TJ Edwards is particularly good at, going after the ball?
Yeah, I don't know that there was anything in particular we had seen on film. I mean, Cooper Kupp for them hadn't been back there a ton in the past. He was obviously back there on that play. I can tell you this. I know those guys talked about taking the ball off somebody during the week of practice, and sure enough, they went out there and got it done. But we got a great group of core players right now. These guys are highly motivated. They really enjoy playing the plays. They work really hard at it during the week. And it's a really fun group to coach and be around. We got a lot of growth to do over the next 14 weeks, and we got a lot of room for improvement. But it's a fun group to be around. Obviously, it's a really good play by TJ taking the ball off him. It was also a really good play by Kayvon being kind of where he's supposed to be in our coverage, the way we teach it, and the opportunity was there for him, and he ended up recovering it.
Martin and then Les.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about how the rookies are kind of doing on special teams. You mentioned Kayvon, but also, Davion and Sean Bradley are playing quite a bit on, special teams. What are you seeing from those guys?
Yeah, those guys are doing a really good job for us. It's definitely a challenging year for them. They didn't have the preseason games. They didn't have all the off-season work. So we're trying to work those guys in more and more. Kayvon ended up playing 4 core teams for us last week. He didn't in the first week. He played 2, so his role kind of increased last week. I think he's done a really nice job. Sean Bradley's been playing 4 for us. He's done a really nice job. And then Davion, he was on 2 teams for us last week. We're looking to continue to increase his role. But he's really been solid for us. He's made some really good plays. He had a great effort play on the penalty on the kickoff return that we had, but he had a great effort block where he got out in front of the ball, just competing and fighting. So I'm really encouraged by these guys. I think they're going to be really good players. Like all these young guys, they do have a lot to learn. I mean, playing special teams in the National Football League against guys who've done it for a long time and made a living doing it is a difficult thing to do. But I feel really good about where they're at, and the most encouraging thing to me is how hard they work at it. And the time and energy and effort they put into it makes me believe that they can really become really good.
Les and then Dave.
Hi, Dave. I wanted to ask you about that penalty. It sort of looked like, and you would know better than I, that maybe Boston was past the guy anyway when Alex held him. That would have been a huge thing, momentum changer in the game. What do you tell Alex after that? Is it just one of those things that happen? How did you see it?
Yeah, well, it definitely happened. So I would say, yes, it's one of those things that happened. But no, we really pride ourselves on being good in the penalty area. I think over the 8 years that I've been here, we've usually been solid in it. Unfortunately for us, the last 2 games, we've had a penalty in each of them, and both of them have been in the return phase, one on punt return, one kick return. And both of them have really cost us some yardage there. We had good plays on both of them. So it's something we talk a lot about. We put a lot of time and energy into it. We watch all the penalties from around the league, from other teams and ourselves, and how they're called and why they're called. We go over it with the players. At the end of the day, I think the officials do a great job. I would never argue on these things. At the end of the day, it's our job to play within the rules and the way they officiate the game. He definitely hooked the guy. I wish he didn't, because I'm with you. You don't know whether or not he would have made the play. I think there's a good chance he would have, but there's also a chance he doesn't. But at the end of the day, we just got to all grow from it and learn from it. Make sure we get those taken care of and eliminate those penalties from our play.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Paul.
Hey, Dave, as a motivator, do you change anything when the team is 0-2? I mean, or do you try to stay as much the same as you can for your players?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I think we try to have a system in place. It's a system that we believe in. It's a way to practice and go through the week and prepare. And, we try not to deviate from that. I mean, we believe in how we train and prepare ourselves and all that. So for us on special teams, we definitely try to stay the course. I mean, I try to stay the course. At the end of the day, I think you just put your focus and energy on trying to find a way to become a little bit better. I think the thing I tell the players is whenever things start going astray, I mean, the most important thing you can do is really just look at yourself and your job. And when I say that, I really am talking about myself and my job. I mean, put the blinders on and focus on what you got to do to get this thing done. And if everybody does that, then you're going to end up being fine. So for us, our focus is just on getting a little bit better. We try to focus on that every single week, to be honest with you. Whether we win or lose, it really doesn't matter. Our goal is to just improve throughout the course of the year. And I think I said to you a week or two ago that the teams that do that the best end up being in the best shape down the stretch.
Go ahead, Paul.
One more quick Cam question, Dave. The cancellation of the spring OTAs and the short summer and the cancellation of preseason obviously has hurt pretty much most players. I was curious, with a punter though, and maybe a place kicker, it's meant less reps unless they've done it themselves. During this whole period. I mean, is his leg is Cam's leg right now fresher, stronger than it might be otherwise?
Yeah, I don't totally know the answer to that. You probably have to ask him for that. But the one thing I would say is, like, all those three guys, they were together for a lot of this offseason, even though they weren't in the building and here. Those guys all got together at local high schools and they worked their craft. And I would say they probably ended up working just as much, if not more, this year than they do any other year. So I really give those guys a lot of credit. I know you've heard me say a million times that, they're all really hard workers, but they're all really hard workers and they're really passionate about what they do. And anytime you have guys like that, even with all the COVID and all that stuff, they got a chance to it doesn't bother them because they did the same thing they've done. They just didn't have the other guys around them. But in terms of the snap, the hold, the kick, or the snap, the catch, the punt, they were going through their operation routine just the same as they always would.
Right.
Any other questions for Coach? Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep, appreciate it.